Hello, today we are going to be talking about partitioning with eFusion and eAXxess 6.0.2. This training clip will cover the following: an overview of operator partitioning, how to configure operator partitioning, a sample scenario. I will also show you available reports for partitioning, and at the end we'll cover some helpful links that may assist you in the configuration of your partitions. So what is operator partitioning? Operator partitioning is used to restrict an operator's access to the management of doors, door groups, elevators, sensors, outputs, output groups, and access levels. Operator partitioning restricts the items that an operator can edit, monitor, or control. It also limits the operator's ability to assign access privileges to cardholders. It is important to note that only items that are placed into a partition will be available to an operator assigned to that partition. So now let me show you the steps you will need to take in order to add and configure a partition. For that, we will need to open the eAXxess or eFusion desktop. As like with all configuration changes, you must be an administrator or a system master to configure your first partition. So I'm first going to log into the system with my system master account. Now I'm going to go to the partitions window, and you can locate this one under the configuration menu, operator privileges. Like most configuration screens, the partitions window allows you to create a new partition. You can also delete an existing partition and also save a partition. The Partitions tab provides you with a list of existing partitions and the different points that will be affected on the configuration of this partition. So let's go ahead and define a new partition. Let's click on the New button. The name must be entered in order to be able to save the partition. The name can be a 40 alphanumeric name, and it's a required field. For the purpose of this exercise, we will name this partition Computer Lab Security. The points window down below lists all the entries in the system that can be partitioned. By default, the icons beside each entry are grayed out. The icons also indicate whether the entry is a door group, elevator, or access level. So we have building main entrance, computer room, EP1501 door 1, Salto door 1 are my doors in this particular configuration. The ones with the little key and the person next to it are my access levels. Below that, I have my sensors that are configuring this system. Below the sensors, I have my outputs. And at the very end, I have my panels. So for this new partition called Computer Lab Security, I'm going to go ahead and select the computer room door, and I can enable that point by double clicking on it or by simply clicking on the enable button at the bottom. As you can see, the icon turns green. That means that the point is enabled for this partition. I'm also going to select the access level called access to computer rooms. I'm going to double click on this point. So what this is going to do, this is going to allow the operator who has this partition to manage that particular door and also have the ability to assign access to the different card holders who need access to the computer room. So once I'm done selecting my points, I can go ahead and click on Save. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side, I have my new partition called Computer Lab Security. Now let's go to the Operators tab. Now that I have a new partition, I can assign that partition to an operator. For the purpose of this exercise, we'll assign the partition to Sean Lyons. Sean doesn't have a partition assigned to it right now, but we're going to go ahead and assign the newly created partition called Computer Lab Security. Once we assign the partition, we can go ahead and click Save. So in theory, next time Sean Lyons logs into the eAXxess software, he's going to have the ability to only administer or manage the computer lab door and also only have the ability to manage the access level that we called access to computer rooms. So let's go ahead and test that theory. For that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off from the system with the system master account. And I'm going to sign back in with Sean's account. So now let's go to the control window. If our theory is correct, Sean should only have the ability to administer the computer room door. And that's all he can see at this point, as you notice on the window. Anything else in that particular window is not available for him to monitor and change. Like sensors, for example, which was one of the items in the partitioning options, is he doesn't have anything available there. Outputs, nothing related to outputs is available for Sean to administer. Also, we said that on the access levels, he's only going to have the ability to manage that particular access level related to the computer lab. So let's go to the card holders window. In the card holders window, as you can see, there's only one access level that Sean can assign to a card holder. All the other access levels are not showing on that screen. So he can go ahead and select a user and assign that access level to the card holder. I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of other things within the partitions window. So let me log off from Sean's account. And log back in with my system master account. I'm going to go to Configuration, Operator Privileges. And so you can see, I have a couple of partitions here in place. We already tested Computer Lab Security. We know that it works as expected. But now I can go ahead and modify this as needed. I can go ahead and click on the partition and then go to the points. Let's say, for example, that now I would like Sean to have the ability to manage other access levels within the system. So I can go ahead and select them all, or the ones that he needs. Then I can save the partition. I don't have to do anything else with Sean's account because the partition is already assigned to his account. All I need to do is update that computer lab security partition that I created before. I can also delete other partitions. Let's say I don't want this exterior doors partition. I can go ahead and delete it. I can also copy a partition. Let's say, for example, that I have a partition that I want to go ahead and use as my baseline to create a new partition. I can copy that and save it as a new partition. And now that new partition has exactly the same points enabled, and I can go ahead and modify it as needed. And save it again. Once I save it, I can assign it to an operator. So that's pretty much what you need to do in order to create a new partition and modify a partition. You may also want to test your partitions before you actually implement them into production. So now let me quickly show you how to run a report on what partitions you have running on your system. For that, we are going to open the reporter by going into the reports menu, run a report. And within all the canned reports that we include in the system, there's one report called partitions. We can double click on that. And this brings up the list of my different partitions. So we have the newly created partition called Computer Lab Security, the points that I enabled, in this case a computer room, and the different access levels. And I'm also listing the copy that I did, the new partition, and all the associated points. So you can always get a good picture of what partitions are currently enabled on your system. So for any additional assistance, you may also utilize the help menu. In order to get more information on partitions, simply click the F1 button on your partitions window, or you may also contact the Maxxess technical support at support@maxxess-systems.com or at 1-800-842-0221. Thank you and have a good day.